everyone, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, FaceCheck. FaceCheck is your personal league advisor, giving you super useful streamlined information so that you can get an upper hand over your opponents, including champ selection, which shows you cool info like top picks and top bans so that you can stay relevant in the meta. You can also see your team's most played champions recently and cross your fingers to hope that they're on their main. Couldn't be me though. FaceCheck also allows you to push builds, spells, and runes directly into the game with the push of a single button. Just give me the LP already. Play better with tags so that you can see which one of your teammates are good at what they do and immediately know if it's a winner's Q game. This one ain't looking too hot. Get deeper in-game stats to fully understand your opponents. And finally, my favorite part, the post-game stuff, which includes your performance telling you what you did right and wrong. A comparison to show you how you played against your lane or role opponent, which I think is very cool because it literally shows you if it was a gap. And of course, an extended scoreboard so that you can see all you need to know about the game you just won. So what are you waiting for? Download FaceCheck right now from the link in the description and enjoy your climb to challenger greatness. One more massive shout out to FaceCheck for sponsoring today's video. You guys are awesome, and now I will dominate the Rift. League of Legends is a game that is impressive for a multitude of reasons. Not only has this game been out since the Nintendo Wii, but somehow this game has been in the forefront of gaming for twice the length of a little penguin's life. Kind of a sad fact to get the video started. You are welcome. But even though Riot Games has been able to accomplish a lot of insanely impressive things over 12 years, they are very clearly not perfect. Like very clearly. What I'm talking about, of course, is the release of new champions. Champion releases these days are both a very big combination of excitement because we get to see something new from our beloved Runeterra, and anxiety because we all have a genuine fear that the next champion released is going to be an Ophelio Collie. That is a nightmare. It's no secret that all new champions come so overloaded that they may as well come with a PDF to explain all of their abilities. Don't believe me? Compare Sion's old passive to Renata's W. I still don't know what the fuck that does. But in all honesty, this is just inevitable. And in reality, Riot Games making champions with more and more complex designs is kind of a good thing. But in order to explain why, let's talk about the root of the problem in the first place. The elephant in the room. The problem that has been destroying everyone's perception of Riot Games since the Stone Age. Or since, like, Yasuo. A problem that consumes nearly every single long-lasting video game. A demon by the name of feature creep. Which I'll explain now. Feature creep is when game devs try to keep their long-standing game interesting by inventing and adding more and more and more and more and more and more and more mechanics. I could have fit in a bit more mores, but we ain't got all day. Using Super Smash Bros. As an example, in the original Smash Bros., there was no spot dodging, there was no perfect shielding, there was significantly less movement options, and less attacks overall. In Smash Bros. Ultimate, however, there are final smashes, smash attacks, tilt attacks, air dodges, perfect shielding, and a lot more. But honestly, since these are different characters from different games, it's completely fine. But imagine if these motherfuckers was in the same game. The problem with creating characters in League's super roster of 159 current champions is that they need to innately keep pushing the envelope in order to create new entities that would keep the Rift alive and breathing. Giving a character just a dash these days comes off as lazy and uninspired, because nowadays there's so much dashes built in that the gosh darn Elote man probably has one, which is fine. Probably good for business. So Riot has to go out of their way to indirectly buff new dashes with features to keep it interesting. Oh, you're telling me that Jax can jump on you? That's cool. Well, Wukong can jump on you and hit multiple targets. Is that it? Well, Echo can jump towards you and then at you. Good luck getting away from that. Is that all Echo can do? Well, now Silas can jump at you and then towards you and then CC you. When it comes to creating entirely new designs of champions, Riot Games is forced into this high-stakes scenario, where the champion has to add enough to the game in order to differ from the 6 classrooms worth of other champions there are. Yet still, these new champions have to somehow be balanced against other characters who were coded on a Commodore 64, which leads to 2 very separate and hilarious points. Number 1, XD. This is a 200 years champion, and Riot doesn't know what they're doing because they're releasing such overpowered nonsense into our game. And of course, number 2, wow, this champion is in the same game as Udyr, Garen, Darius, Sivir, Kog'Maw, Malphite, Nasus, Sona. I digress. And as much as I want to sit back on the bleachers like I have before and just yell Riot dumb jokes over and over again, the more I look at it, the more I start to understand just how impossible it is to continuously modernize a game over 12 years. Which is, again, the life of 2 little penguins. You're sad. Not only has this task never been done successfully, but in most instances, it's been a lot worse. In some extreme cases, such as gacha games, feature creep and power creep become such a prevalent force that older characters are rendered useless. However, in gacha games, the companies actually have a motive for that. By releasing OP shit and forcing you to roll over and over until you get them for the small price of $200, a couple weeks of sadness, some anxiety every time you roll, and a huge chunk of your sanity. Whereas League of Legends isn't a game where their profit is directly linked to new champions. Hell, if League wanted to, they can release no new champions for 3 years, drop an entire Ahri-only skin line, and fund the next 3 seasons of Arcane with that alone. Riot has nearly no good motives for making new champions overpowered or overtuned or overloaded. It's not like Blue Essence is some sort of cryptocurrency. Billy Tryndamere isn't sitting in a mansion on the top of a hill maniacally cackling at the idea of stealing all of your BE. Which boils down to the main issue that I know keeps a lot of people tossing and turning in the night. And it's the reason why so many people get upset in the first place. Creating a deeper and more engaging game comes by adding new features, which keeps it rewarding. Unfortunately, that's also at the cost of hurting older designs, which oftentimes pale in comparison. Do you need an example? Play Nasus. Right now, pause the video at this second and go play a Nasus game. And then actively sob when Zeri jet set radios over the longest wall of the game while actively shooting both of your kneecaps out. It sucks. The reason why so many people are upset at the idea of 200 years champions is because a lot of us have already built an attachment to older designs, which end up falling to the side on this new game that Riot Games has been creating. It also doesn't help that since League of Legends is an ever-evolving game, there's no way to go back and play what we used to love, like the example of Smash Bros. 64. And it's not even just champions. Heck, one of the main reasons that Chemdrake failed the way that it did is because it was a feature-creeped dragon that was pretty hard and kind of interesting to play against, but it was too strong and way too hard to balance, especially when compared to the older, more dated Drakes. Like Windrake. Move speed, baby! Which brings me to the very real and very bittersweet point of this video. I applaud Riot Games for creating and innovating new challenges to keep the game fun every single patch. Even funny exploits like Janna Top with Smite breathe new life into the Rift because it's a new challenge to solve, even though that one was kind of a mistake. New champion designs excite the hell out of me, alongside reworks, dragons, items, and whatever else they can come up with. But unfortunately, no matter how hard they try, older designs will always end up just feeling worse in the process. Except for Garen with Stridebreaker, or Udyr with Chemtank, or Diana with Protobelt, or Tryndamere with Gale Force, or Jhin with Gale Force, or Kai'Sa with Gale Force. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comment section below whether you like or hate feature creep and why. I like that they're making the game more interesting, but honestly, as an Nasus main, it breaks my heart. Also, we have a very huge announcement. Elden Ring just came out, which is slated to be the best game of all time, and we're streaming it at this second over on twitch.tv/Scooch. So head on over there right now, and hopefully I can get good. I'll see you in a few seconds.